In this episode, Dale and Val speak to Sebouh Pamoukian, who will be presenting at the Project Controls Expo virtual this September. He will be presenting about the role of project controls in developing leaders. For more information, visit projectcontrolsexpo.com to grab a ticket. And for more in-depth information on the podcast, visit projectchatterpodcast.com. Now, on with the pod.
Hello, Sebouh. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you on. And you have a really, really interesting topic because I'm in project controls and I'd love to know what our role is in developing leaders. So I know you're going to share it all at the expo, but I'd love for you to give us and the listeners a bit of a taster as to perhaps some of the topics you'll be sharing.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you for having me. The topic I'll be sharing is the role of project controls in general as a field in developing leaders. The reason why I think this is a very important topic is because the world in general is lacking leaders nowadays. It's not only in construction, it's everywhere, from politics to families. We are lacking leaders, real, true quality leaders. Now, without going in depth into that area in general, I want to talk about project controls in specific, because project controls, I believe, has the best qualities to develop leaders. Developing leaders can be very uncomfortable, okay? But it's not everywhere that you can find that kind of an environment. Project controls has that quality. I come from a project controls background, and I've been through many projects, and I've seen it over and over again, where people make use of that opportunity and others who don't. Just recognizing this quality of project controls and making use of it can bring tremendous benefit, not only to a project, but also to companies as well as individuals and society as a whole. So that's in short what I would like to discuss.
Sorry, just to jump in there, yeah. I 100% agree with you because like I said, I'm a controls person and I believe we're very, very well placed to, not only develop leaders, assist with leadership because we have that, that all-round view. We like the glue of a project. We deal with every single department and function and try and bring that all together. But I guess it is the Project Controls Expo, so most people attending should know what Project Controls is, but maybe for those that are stumbling across this podcast by chance and just happen to listen in, what is Project Controls? How do you define it?
You know what I want to do? I want to tell you what Project Controls is not. Okay.
Awesome.
Because that's what the problem. That's where the problem is. The problem that people don't make use of project controls is because there are misconceptions. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's why many people are discouraged into getting involved in project controls, giving it the value it deserves, or making use of it. Okay, for some people, project controls, or one of the misconceptions, let's say, is that project controls is just a contract requirement. You have to do schedule a program, right? So it's in the contract, so you have to do it. So you need to hire someone to do it. So the project manager or the management just hire someone to get this thing out of the way, get this project, this program done, this schedule done. Another thing is that people think that project controls is just record keeping,
yes.
Document. Yeah, so you get to do, you need some staff just to know what is what and when it happened, and somebody needs a date, you ask the planner, when are we getting this and when are we doing that, as if the planner's job is just a timekeeping job. Another misconception is that project controls is just a facade. The management wants a nice and fancy dashboard report with all the gimmicks, with all the colorful charts and the nice things, just like all the other people have. We want it too. So we need people who know how to make these fancy reports. So some people think it's just that, But really, to come back to your question, project controls is really the heart of the project. Let me put it this way. The leadership, the project manager or the project director is the head visionary, is the holder of the vision. And in order for that person to pursue that vision and really implement it, he needs a right-hand man. And the project controls professional is the right-hand man. Without his right-hand man, he can go with his vision left, right, and center and miss the mark. With the project controls manager, with the project controls engineer, you name it, the project manager or the project director can really aim and hit the target, can really finish on time, can really, finish within budget with the quality he expects. So project controls really is a crucial area. And the reason why really people don't make use of this opportunity is really because by virtue of nature of project controls, we deal with change, and people do not like change. People do not know how to behave with change. We like things to be stable. We like things to stay where they are. We like we like to be in control of things. But change itself is a challenging thing to control, to deal with. And not everyone, to be honest, has that talent either. Yeah. It's a talent, I believe, and I'm sure like when I first started out, we were using P3, and P3, the Primavera P3, it wasn't as user-friendly as P6 is or any other new softwares are. And only people who were talented in, such things, who were, how can I say it, who were passionate about such things as project controls, could really deal with those things. And you had much fewer planners back then than you have now.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing and a bad thing,
Yeah.
So the good people used to stand out back then. Now it's really hard for people who are not, knowledgeable about project controls to really know who's a good planner and who's a bad planner.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. Like I say, it's close to my heart as well. And I've heard us described in many different ways before. The one I quite like is we're the conscience of the project. We have to keep, everyone on track and make sure everyone's doing the right thing, the right way. But the other one I like is the analogy that, as I think you were alluding to it, where the project manager or director is the driver of a rally car, and the project controller or project controls manager is the co-driver with the map, saying go faster, go slower, turn left, turn right type thing.
Yeah.
And they both have to know that course equally as well, but the one's driving and the other one is telling them, how they should be driving. But I want to bring it back to your topic slightly. And I want to ask you, what characteristics do you think of project controllers are transferable to, or maybe they're not transferable, maybe they are leadership characteristics, and that's what we should be looking out for in project controls?
Yeah, let me name a few. See, since it's such a crucial role, and since the project controls professional needs to work very closely with the project director or the management, this person has to be very correctable. Okay, you need to be someone who can be corrected. You cannot be a stubborn person. You cannot be some prideful person. You need to be someone who's moldable. So that characteristic is really rare to find. I don't mean to say you need to be a yes man, but you need to be able to take correction and to work on yourself and to change, to improve yourself and improve your plan. You need to hear from, because that's another problem with planners and project controllers. We think we have the perfect plan, and we don't want to listen to technical people. We don't want to listen to construction people. We don't want to listen to the management or the client or consultants. We think we have it perfect,
Yeah.
But we need to learn these things. Once we become people who can develop many scenarios, many ways to get the project done, and come up with the risk registers and all the pros and the cons in every single scenario, we can be much more of a use to our project managers. That's one quality, you know, to be someone who can work on himself to improve himself. Another the quality that's very important to develop and to pass on to others as well is to build relationships. You know, project controllers usually do not like to talk to others, do not see value in building relationships, but your plan, your program is only as good as the input you give it. And the input you give as one person is very limited. You know, this is something that needs to sink in. You cannot give all the input a plan requires. Okay, if it's just a small project, if it's just, I don't know, 2,000 activity plan, then yeah, okay, maybe you can, you know, figure it out and everything. But if we're talking larger projects, mega projects, talking above 20, 30,000 activities, you need to have a much wider understanding, require help, and get better understanding. Project controllers, I'm surprised to meet project controllers who have not opened the plans of a project. They do not know the details of the fit out, for example, you know, or the mechanical rooms. They do not
sometimes
know.
they don't even go to site, right? They sit at a desk the whole time.
Yes, that's even worse. That's, you know, living in your own planet. Yeah.
No, it's interesting. I agree with you. So I picked out their agility, flexibility. We need to be flexible. I totally agree with that. Because if you're inflexible, as you say, if we bring it back to that analogy, if you're the co-driver of the car and you can't make last minute adjustments because the corner's coming up too quickly or whatever the case may be, then there's going to be an accident, right? Risks will happen. The impact of risk, let's call it.
Let me say one more thing that's very important. We need to be people who can time travel. Okay, yeah. I say this we need to live in the future. We need to be people who are not stuck now. So we need to imagine what that future will look like and what the parameters would be. You know, many people create all these plans with all these relationships just to draw bar charts, you know, which is useless if you didn't think through the entire process. And where would you be then? And, you know, you wouldn't really understand what kind of relationships to put in. So that aspect is really what actually I was talking about when I said it scares people. And that's why they try to stay away from project controls, you know, because it has to do with change.
Yeah. And I almost think we need to like reimagine what we call ourselves, like project controls. Controls is almost like a inhibiting word. Maybe we should be called something else, you know, but who knows what that might be. I just want to know, as we sort of head towards the end of the pod, what are you hoping that your audience will go away with as the key takeaways from your presentation?
I want to encourage beginners to get involved in project controls if the topic touches their heart. You know what I mean? If it's something that speaks to them, it means they have it in them. They have that, that calling, let's say. They have that, they are called to be project controls managers. They are called to be project control engineers, but they weren't so sure. I hope that my presentation inspires them to go for it. Or if they are really in project controls already and they're stuck, like you say, in their own room, they don't go to site, they don't open plans, and they've been in a fight with the management or with anyone, and they think they can pull it off by themselves. I want to encourage them to get out of that bubble and improve themselves and bring more and contribute more positively to project or to their management.
Well, it certainly sounds like a hugely inspirational presentation that you've got lined up, and I certainly am looking forward to it. Sebouh, that is all the time we have. Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to your presentation at the Expo.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you. It's my pleasure.